of the things that has been hardest for me is coming in and walking in the building when nobody's here. You'll notice that a lot of the lights are off. And that's saving us electricity, so that's exciting during this time. But it just gives a different view of the library. Like we're used to public libraries bustling with activity. We're used to them being full of people who are sitting and visiting with each other, people who are working on their resumes and doing job applications, kids who are in here picking out their books. But when the staff and I come in now to work and to put the crafts together and to order books and things like that, there's nobody in here but us. And it's kind of heartbreaking. It's not something when you go to library school that you would ever imagine that we would go through a pandemic in our lifetime that would shut the libraries down. And so every single time I come in, it's kind of a little jab in the heart that we don't have our community in here with us. Normally when we come by the lab, there's 30, 50 people in here. It's still pretty, but it's just not the same when there's nobody in there. I'm really sad about the art galleries. Normally we have different art exhibits in our galleries, both here and at Argenta. Ours usually change out every 6 to 8 weeks. Argenta changes out every 4 weeks. But as you can see, the gallery is empty right now. We are working with some of our artists to try to figure out a way to have digital shows so that the artist still gets their art seen by the community. It still gives the community access to art and culture. You know, the last time I was in a public library where all the lights were off and come in when it's dark was when I built a new branch in Louisiana. I would go in the evenings before and after everyone else was there and stock the shelves to get ready before our opening. And coming in and seeing the lights off here when we're not doing a big project like that is, it's just sad. It's also peaceful. One of the nice things about coming into the library right now is how quiet and peaceful it can be. Because, you know, public libraries aren't tombs of silence anymore. They can actually get quite noisy, especially when you have really good services for kids and teens. Libraries can get quite loud. And so it kind of harkens back to the days when libraries were quiet. Sometimes I think about what would the walls say if they could talk about this pandemic? What would the books say in the stacks? Are they missing people walking up and down and, you know, running their hands over the books? I don't know if anybody else does this. We've seen people, we know you do. Sometimes people just run their hands through the books and now the books don't get that. In fact, it's one of the reasons we can't open yet. That for social distancing, like my cameraman behind there is staying quite a few ways apart. Another reason we can't open is because we do know that patrons come in and they touch everything, and we can't possibly keep up with all of those touches and keep the material safe for the next person. I had asked my staff for a list of questions for Crystal Clear, and what do you want to know? One of the questions that they shared with me was, who am I and why libraries? Throughout these interviews, there's going to be times when I get emotional. I know it is. Because libraries are a passion, and what we provide to the community is invaluable. And we're really having this paradigm shift of what public libraries are and what we offer and how we meet the needs of the community. And coming in and seeing a building dark like this, it just brings it all home again, that we still have to continue to innovate, and we have to think about how can we change, how can we evolve, what is the public library of the future, and how do we get there? Who are our stakeholders, and where do we gather that information from so that we continue to meet the variety of needs that have really become apparent, even more so during this pandemic. And what is it going to take to get us there?